What if I told you that the story of Black people, of their power, resilience, and heritage, was etched into the very pages of the Bible? A narrative so ancient and profound. It holds secrets that could change how we see history forever. From the dawn of humanity, the Bible has served as both a spiritual guide and a historical record. It boldly declares that all people are descendants of one man, Noah, and his three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But here's where it gets fascinating. Among these three, Ham is identified as the forefather of Black people and the civilizations of Africa. The name Ham carries a depth of meaning that has sparked both reverence and controversy. In Hebrew, Aramaic, and other ancient tongues, Ham translates to burned or dark, a poetic reference not only to the complexion of his descendants, but to the richness of their cultures and lands. Ham's lineage is intricately tied to the African continent, its kingdoms, its people, and its unparalleled contributions to the tapestry of human history. In the Bible, the story begins after the Great Flood, a cataclysm that reset humanity's course. Noah's three sons ventured into the world, each forming the roots of great nations. Shem became the ancestor of the Semitic peoples, the Israelites, Arabs, and Syrians. Japheth's lineage stretched into Europe and Asia. And Ham? His name resonates with the vibrant heart of Africa. The ancient texts connect him to the lands of Egypt, Ethiopia, and beyond, kingdoms known for their strength, wisdom, and beauty. Through Ham's children, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, the foundations of great civilizations were laid. Cush, often associated with Ethiopia and the Kingdom of Nubia, became a cornerstone of African heritage. Mizraim, synonymous with Egypt, gave rise to one of history's most awe-inspiring cultures. Put is believed to be the progenitor of the Libyans, while Canaan's descendants played pivotal roles in the biblical narratives of the Promised Land. But Ham's legacy is not without its controversies. Over the centuries, his name has been enshrined in both admiration and misunderstanding. The so-called Curse of Ham has fueled centuries of debate, often misused to justify deeply flawed ideologies. Yet, the Bible never cursed Ham himself, only his son, Canaan, for a specific act of disrespect. This is a story riddled with nuance, one that challenges us to approach it with discernment and historical context. So why does this matter? Because Ham's story isn't just about ancient history. It's about reclaiming a legacy, about understanding that the roots of Black and African identities are interwoven with biblical truths and cultural brilliance. His name is a reminder of a people who have endured, thrived, and shaped the world in ways often overlooked. As we unravel this profound narrative, we invite you to see beyond the surface, to question what you've been told, and to discover the extraordinary origins of Black people through the lens of the Bible. Are you ready to dive deeper into this mystery and uncover the truths hidden within Scripture? Stay with us. This is only the beginning. What if I told you that some of the most influential civilizations in history, kingdoms that shaped the world, can trace their origins to one man, Ham, and his four sons? This is no ordinary genealogy. It's a legacy that spans continents, cultures, and centuries. According to the Bible, Ham, one of Noah's three sons, stands at the root of some of the world's most fascinating and powerful nations. After the Great Flood, Ham's descendants spread out, forging identities that would define the course of history. But here's where it gets intriguing. Ham's four sons, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, didn't just populate lands, they established dynasties. Cush, the eldest, is revered as the forefather of Ethiopia and the Kingdom of Nubia, known in ancient texts as the Land of Cush. This region gave rise to mighty rulers and vibrant cultures, their influence extending far beyond the African continent. Cush's lineage is often associated with strength, resilience, and the rich heritage of East Africa. Mizraim, on the other hand, laid the foundation for ancient Egypt, one of the most enigmatic and advanced civilizations in human history. From the pyramids to the hieroglyphs, Mizraim's descendants shaped a legacy that continues to captivate the modern world. Even today, Egypt's ancient name, Misr, echoes his impact, a testament to the enduring connection between the land and its biblical roots. Put is believed to be the progenitor of the Libyans, establishing the peoples of North Africa who thrived in the harsh yet majestic landscapes of the Sahara. Their history, marked by resilience and adaptation, connects to Ham's lineage in profound ways. Canaan, the youngest, is tied to one of the most controversial legacies in biblical history. His descendants, the Canaanites, occupied the Promised Land, their story intertwined with the struggles and triumphs of the Israelites. This connection sparks age-old debates about heritage, land, and divine destiny. Ham's genealogy isn't just a list of names, it's a blueprint of influence and heritage. These sons of Ham established cultures that flourished in Africa and beyond, leaving marks on human history that remain undeniable. But what does this mean for us today? Is it merely a record of ancient times? Or does it carry deeper truths about identity, origins, and faith? For centuries, a single biblical passage has fueled debates, misunderstandings, and even justifications for injustice. But what if we've been interpreting it all wrong? What if the so-called curse of Ham wasn't on Ham at all, but on his son Canaan? And what if this misinterpretation has distorted history itself? Let's set the record straight. The Bible recounts in Genesis 9 that after the great flood, Noah became intoxicated and lay uncovered in his tent. Ham, one of his sons, saw him and, instead of showing respect or aiding his father, spoke of it mockingly to his brothers. This act of disrespect set the stage for a dramatic moment. Noah cursed Canaan, Ham's youngest son, declaring, "Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." But here's where the confusion begins. Over the centuries, many have misattributed this curse, claiming it was placed on Ham himself and, by extension, his descendants, specifically African peoples. This misinterpretation has been wielded as a tool to justify slavery, discrimination, and cultural oppression. Yet, a closer look at the text reveals an undeniable truth. Noah's curse was directed at Canaan, not Ham, and certainly not all of Ham's lineage. Canaan's descendants, known as the Canaanites, settled in lands that would later become central to biblical narratives, including the region that came to be known as Israel. The curse was a specific consequence tied to Noah's sense of dishonor, reflecting the values and customs of that time, where respect for one's father held paramount importance. But it was never intended as a sweeping condemnation of all African or Black peoples. So why has this narrative persisted? Misunderstandings of Scripture, combined with historical biases, have allowed the so-called curse of Ham to perpetuate harmful stereotypes and misrepresentations. This distortion has obscured the rich and diverse legacy of Ham's descendants, who contributed to some of the world's most remarkable civilizations. From Egypt to Ethiopia, it's time to reclaim the truth. The Bible, when read carefully and in context, does not assign a curse to Africa or its people. Instead, it provides a story of human fallibility, cultural complexity, and divine justice. What happens when the world is wiped clean and humanity must start over? In the aftermath of the Great Flood, one man, Ham, emerges not just as a survivor but as a pioneer. His story is woven with mystery, legacy, and controversy that still echoes today. After the floodwaters receded and the ark came to rest, Noah's family was tasked with repopulating and rebuilding the earth. Among his 3 sons, Ham's role stands out. The Bible and ancient texts like the Book of Jubilees reveal that Ham was not merely a wanderer. He was a builder, an innovator, and a man determined to leave a lasting mark on a reshaped world. It is said that Ham was the first to establish cities and regions after the flood. One of the most fascinating accounts links him to the founding of a place called Malek, named in honor of his beloved wife. This act of creation speaks volumes about Ham's vision and his intent to lay the foundation for future civilizations. But Ham's story isn't without its complexities. The Book of Jubilees recounts a moment of familial conflict, when Ham's youngest son, Canaan, set his sights on lands belonging to Shem. Tensions arose. Ham and his other sons opposed Canaan's decision, urging him to settle in territories designated for Ham's descendants, lands in Africa, rich with opportunity and resources. Yet Canaan defied their wishes, choosing to remain in the territory that would later become Israel. As for Ham's final resting place, it remains one of history's great mysteries. Some suggest he was buried in Sudan, others propose Ethiopia, and a few even speculate about Egypt, a land shrouded in ancient secrets. These theories are more than just guesses. They reflect Ham's enduring influence on the regions he helped shape, whether in the shadow of Nubian pyramids or the heart of the Nile Valley. Ham's legacy seems inseparably tied to Africa's cradle of civilization. Ham's contributions go far beyond genealogy. He represents resilience and renewal, the drive to rebuild and thrive in a world washed clean. His story is a cornerstone in understanding the origins of human civilization and its deep ties to the African continent. The Bible, sacred, mysterious, and profound. It's more than a book. It's a guide to humanity's origins, struggles, and destiny. But what happens when its words are misunderstood? Could misinterpretation be the reason behind centuries of division and injustice? And what might we uncover if we dared to explore its truths in their full historical and cultural context? The Bible is one of the richest sources of wisdom and historical insight, yet it is often oversimplified or misused. Its passages have been cited to uplift and to oppress, to unite and to divide. But one thing is clear: to truly understand its message, we must look beyond the surface. Understanding the Bible requires us to delve into its historical and cultural roots. Who wrote these texts? What societal norms influenced their stories? From the lives of the ancient Hebrews to the rise and fall of empires, the Bible is deeply intertwined with the history of humanity. Ignoring this context risks distorting its meaning and perpetuating harmful misconceptions. Take, for example, the narrative surrounding Ham and his descendants. For centuries, these stories have been misinterpreted to justify inequities, particularly toward Black and African peoples. But when examined through the lens of archaeology, linguistics, and genetics, the truth becomes clearer. These ancient texts reflect the complexity of human history, not blanket judgments on entire peoples or races. Beyond Scripture, fields like archaeology have uncovered ruins that validate the Bible's accounts, while linguistics traces the origins of languages mentioned in its pages. Genetic studies have shown the interconnectedness of all humanity, aligning with the Bible's assertion that we are all descendants of one family. Together, these disciplines help paint a fuller, richer picture of biblical truths. But why does this matter today? Because misinterpretation has consequences. It can shape ideologies, create divides, and obscure the real beauty of the Bible's message, a call to love, understanding, and redemption for all of humanity. Imagine a world where we approach Scripture not with bias, but with open hearts and minds. What truths might we uncover? How might it change us? If this resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll explore the Bible's mysteries with clarity and faith. May God bless you as you seek His truth. Stay tuned for more revelations, because this journey has only just begun.